Hello and welcome back to Everybody Loves Raiken, episode 67. When we last left off, the party had just come away from their last harrowing ordeal in the Underdark, in which they had been discovered by a Shadowstalker drow and a pair of Drider. And since then, they had been led by Chult to a place where they could get some much-needed rest, a place that the Deep Gnome had described as neutral ground. He brought them to and what looked like any other inn on the surface, at least once you were inside. It had been barded in wood and very much resembled surface taverns, down to the fact that they had a minstrel playing light music for the group of drow and dwergar and dwarves who were in attendance, eating and, in some cases, chatting with each other inside. As the party took in these rather surprising surroundings, they were told by the proprietor that the place was to was to be free of the politics of the drow houses, and that if anyone came to this inn with intent to do harm to one of the guests, that they would be met with force wielded by the house itself. Let's see here. Pull up my notes here for a second. Remind myself, because we were off last week, so it's been 2 weeks. The proprietor of this tavern, known as the Gulch in Undercommon, although he called it the Valley of Plenty when he talked about it to the party in common. His name was Halgir Darkforge, and the only other really kind of interesting thing about the place was that when the party approached, they had been addressed by another Drider, a third Drider for the day, who warned them that she would be protecting the place and keeping her eye on them. And this was shown to be true when Jebel decided to regain his gnome form just out in front of the tavern, and she indicated that, she would kill them if they tried anything funny. After that, the party turned in and did a number of things, most of which were Laramendus casting spells to protect them within this very strange, very distrustful place. At the end of which, however, Laramendus engaged in casting Identify, told Chult about his pick, which could help him find veins of rare gems, and began casting Identify on the ferret. And it was in the middle of that Identify that Vendar, owner of the ferret, sort of just cracked a big smile and laughed to the party as he mysteriously came into the knowledge that his ferret had been a gift from Sayanine, as he told it. So we begin with Laramendus finishing his Identify spell. You have the message from me indicating what you learned?
Yep.
Okay. And are there any important questions? Because I didn't see any.
I don't think so. Everything's pretty clear.
Okay. Then, as we begin, you are just coming out of the deep trance you had put yourself into in order to ignore the clawing and clamoring of this ferret as you tried to stay in physical contact with the wily beast to cast your spell with new knowledge. And as you open your eyes and become once again aware of the people around you, you find that they are already in conversation, talking excitedly about the ferret.
So, Laramendus will look up from the ferret and say, well, um, it- where did you get this? It's extremely powerful, and wily in more ways than one would assume from just a ferret.
The gift from Sayanine, I just found out. When we were taking care of the drow bodies, he just popped out of one of the pockets of one of them.
That clears up what could have been quite confusing. I believe that it should go back into your company. You should be able to command it or speak with it in some way that we can't. If it could please not be in my clothing anymore, I would be most appreciative.
The thing like pops out of the neck of your shirt, like right under your chin, and you all just like see this little periscope head come up right under his chin, like stop in contact, and he just sort of looks around and chitters at you.
Please. I'm gonna try and like grab at it to start like dragging it away.
It's going to make a dex acrobatics check to try and grab it.
That is a 21.
Not bad.
I rolled an 18.
Very nice. It only got an 18 total, so you do manage to grab it before it dives back into your shirt.
Okay.
You kind of like have it around like the shoulders and as gently as you can around the neck, as you can feel it like digging its little claws into the fabric of your clothing and trying to pull itself back down.
I gotta put it down on the floor.
You prise it free and set it on the ground, and it runs in a circle and then chitters angrily at you and then hops onto Vendar's arm and climbs up to his shoulder.
I will look at it very pointedly and say, I apologize for my handling.
It then does a very, very weirdly human gesture and folds its arms across its chest and nods at you.
Cool.
So as you just recently learned that it was a gift from Cyanide. Did she explain to you how it works?
No.
I see. Well, it is shielded very heavily from most magics that would be able to detect things, which is why it would seem that Jebel had to focus as much as he did in order to even determine that it's magic, which is most impressive and a very curious effect. He gets a bit distracted looking at the thing with his head tilted and then shakes his head a bit. I believe that it could function as a scrying sensor for whoever it was that created it, which you say is likely to be Sayanine. So she'll be able to check in on whatever is going on around Sam is Lord Squeakers.
Yes.
Lord Squeakers the second.
The second.
Squeakers the second.
I am not sure of the extent of its shielding capabilities, though. If it only functions for some amount of non-detection on itself, or if perhaps you are going to be more difficult to divine thing is about, or others that it might choose. Although I suppose if we had safety and time, we could perhaps try and determine that.
Tristan,
Yep.
I just want to get up the stream to see my location. But I would want to, like, tear off a little piece of my rations and hand it to the ferret.
Okay. So you're going to move, however people are arranged. I had set them on where the beds are, but, perhaps everybody's kind of gathered around, Lara here, so you can do so. The, ferret will, still be, like, it has its arms folded as it's just, like, eyeing Lara as it talks about it. And it very slowly becomes, like, distracted by the food over there, like, does a little double take. Then finally it just sort of, like, grabs onto to Vendar's shoulder with one of its hands, and it just stretches way out and tries to take the food from you.
Yeah. I will let it have it. Now when I closed it, I want to take as close a look on it as I can without seeming threatening.
Okay.
Will I be can I roll to see if I can be able to determine its sex?
You roll nature.
Nature.
Think about that one.
Me or him?
You. Will that be persuasion?
You want to roll religion for it?
That's 13 on nature.
13 on nature. You're not exactly sure how the different sexes for this type of creature present. And you just find yourself, like, awkwardly staring at its belly for a protracted period of time as you, like, you're giving it the food, but you're holding it, like, just far enough away that it really has to reach for it for a few seconds to give you a better look. And you find that it just sort of embarrasses you that you realize what you're looking for.
I'll just leave it be.
It takes the food and then scampers over to Vendar's farther shoulder and begins eating it.
One other thing that I'm not sure it could do, given it is a magical construct, I suppose not extremely dissimilar from a form of familiar, but much more intricate. It might be able to serve as a focus of spellcasting for you. You could spellcast, or was it? I don't know if spells can be cast from it in the same way that a familiar could, unless you have a method of casting spells. I don't know if we could test that one though.
I don't have any method of casting spells.
The ferret, like, finishes eating the bit of ration that it had received from Leah, and it, like, nibbles at your ear, getting you to look at it, and it just sort of, like, swirls its hands around in front of it and throws them out forward, and then looks at you.
Can I roll Arcana?
Yeah.
That was not my best roll. That's a 25. What spell was it attempting to cast?
Well, given that its digits are very small and they didn't seem to really move a lot, it could have been any number of spells that require a hand motion in patterns like that. Fingers are sort of important. But it did look generally like somebody attempting to cast a spell. No effect appeared to be produced, however.
Mm-hmm. I think that it would behoove you to figure out how you can communicate more effectively with Lord Squeakers.
The second.
Should we always be addressing him by his full title and name?
Squeakers just sort of peers around his face at you and straightens his tricorn at you. Go ahead,
Yes.
Vendar.
It's very important that you always address him in his full, proper manner.
Understood.
Oh boy.
He's a duke after all.
Of course, Your Grace.
I would expect nothing less.
I just shake my head.
Nice to make your acquaintance, my lord, I said to the ferret and curtsy.
The ferret chitters squeakily at you, and as you look up, you see that it is, like bowing as a human might.
I giggle.
I love squeakers so much.
Or rather, as a humanoid might. So, at this point, I will remind you, the characters, that for some of you, you had begun your long rest, and this is an event that has likely woken you up somewhere therein, although I don't know that anybody got Raiken up. For the rest, who didn't go to sleep at all, you are pushing the bounds of your limits without having to roll Constitution against exhaustion. And so your bodies are definitely telling you that it is time to sleep.
I turn to Jebel and say, I will spend time preparing my arcane recoveries so that I might be able to cast my Dispel Magic into your staff.
Oh,
Oh,
a
yeah.
thing. Tristan,
Yes.
you remember the thing we did last time in the closet?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds so bad out of context. Did you inform Sam of that?
Not yet, but sleeping hadn't happened yet. I can
Oh.
quickly, while you finish your decisions on what you're going to do right now in conversations and character, I will just send them a quick message. But it
Okay.
pertains to going to sleep.
Laramentus will turn to Leah and say, Leah, before you go to sleep, may I borrow your scrying mirror for the evening?
Why? You plan to
I-
screw someone?
No, I don't have the spell slots at the moment to be performing that. I have been working on a novel spell. I was spending time with Nalia when we were in the city, and part of my theories on its function is the spell scrying, and I feel that having the focus with me might help steer some of my work this evening.
Okay, but be careful. It's very expensive, you know.
No harm will come to it. Thank you.
Yeah, I believe that Lair was with you when you bought it.
I believe he bought it.
I think I did, yeah.
Oh my god.
With that, Laramentus will go and he'll pull out his book and just sort of be very focused on things.
I don't need to be awake for this, do I?
Mm-mm. No, Laramundus told you last session that he can prepare the spell and put it in your staff for you all while you're sleeping.
Yeah. I was just letting you
Fine.
know that that was going to happen.
Okay. So, you all go to sleep in these rough beds in the inn known as the Gulch. And approximately the normal amount of time will pass, at least as far as a sleeping body can tell, and you will wake up. But when you wake up, you find that you are not in the inn any longer.
Uh-oh.
Dun dun dun.
Slap you here for now. When you become conscious, aware of yourselves again.
Oh, interesting. Lots
You've-
of question marks.
They didn't load them properly.
Did we get a long rest out of this?
You feel like you have long rested.
No, I mean, for the, actually, no.
Yes, you get your spell slots back and all that.
I actually meant for the purpose of preparing spells. It's done in the morning. But it's something you have to... I don't know about for druids. It is something that you have to sit down and do.
It should only be if you're changing spells. But...
Yeah.
Okay.
If you change spells in the morning, you won't have had a chance to.
No, it's something you do when you get up in the morning as a druid. It's like you start the day and then it's one of the first things you do.
Right. So you have your spell slots back, but you haven't had the chance to prepare any different spells when you find yourself in these unfamiliar surroundings.
That's interesting.
Yes.
But- So, can you explain what's like the surroundings now?
I will. I'm just trying to find one more icon. See if I have one of them, because I did. Yeah, it's at least not under there. For now.
I love that
no, not that
background
one. I don't like
so
that.
much.
What?
No, I'm updating my syntax, so because of that I closed Photoshop that I had open and saw the background that is currently on my syntax because my backgrounds rotate, and it's Dan from Slow-Mo Guys rolling on the skateboard with an inflated condom.
Oh. Cool.
It's in a wind tunnel. It's hilarious. I love it.
I'm upset because I'm not seeing the image that I used. Oh.
I can't remember the one that we used.
And
Was
I'm
it
not
the
even
same?
seeing like one that I... Huh?
Was it the same one as the elf what stole the money?
I didn't think so, but I can always use that one for now. At least that one's of a male elf. In any event. So, now then, good enough. You all wake up and find yourselves seated, not lying in beds, as the majority of you had been. You find that you are seated in, like, long rows of tables in an amphitheater-like room, on these benches. And you find that the room itself appears to be constructed of a smooth white stone, and is kind of roundish in the corners, not super sharp edges. And as I said, it's got these rising tiers of bench at which somebody can sit, and you have a workspace table in front of you. As you look around, you find that yourself and your compatriots, whom you recognize, are wearing these odd robe-like colored uniforms that you do not recognize. They have, like, wide, long sleeves and large flapped lapels. Honestly, you look at your friends and you think they've decided to dress like wizards, classic wizards all of a sudden. And as you continue to look around, you see that there is a slate up at the front of the room, and standing in it's covered in, like, notations of just, like, words and definitions. And standing in front of it is somebody who looks very much to you like Laramendus. However, he seems to be... he doesn't have the black streak in his white hair. The laugh lines and creases in his forehead seem lighter. And he appears to be talking, and you notice, finally, that there are two people seated in front of you, and you're looking at the backs of them. And it is at that time that you realize that while you are taking in all of your surroundings and trying to figure out what has happened and where you are, that this person who looks and sounds like Laramendus is speaking at you. You may begin.
So in Elvish, you'll hear Laramendus speaking. And he says, and so even though this won't be on any exam and isn't a necessary topic for you to discuss in any essays, I feel that it is at least potentially interesting from an anthropological point of view for us to have discussed what little we know of drow tales. Given precedent from other cultures, it seems reasonable that, and at this point he looks over at the large number of you and stumbles a bit and then keeps going.
Do we understand if he's speaking?
If you speak Elvish, you understand. If you do not speak Elvish, you do not understand. If you have had some lessons in Elvish, you may roll.
I would like to quietly and steadily be trying to feel for my equipment.
It is gone.
What do I add to the roll?
I think it's an int check.
Yeah, it's an int check. It's just a d20 plus it.
Does Laramendus ever say you have
19.
very nice hair?
Does Laramendus ever say you have very nice hair? In Elvish, no, you do not hear that phrase.
Speakers with me?
Do you have squeakers with you? No, he appears to be missing.
Yeah,
I'm
Lorelei?
Lorelei is missing.
Yukikazu's gonna speak up and be like, "Ha! This is a weird dream."
And immediately...
Sorry, if you could hold any questions to the end unless they're relevant for the class. He will say when you start speaking.
The
Devil is sitting beside Cyrus, is he?
That is how I randomly
And
drag the
he sees him
icons.
as Cyrus.
It is, yeah, you see him as Cyrus.
And I'm going to kind of lean in and just whisper, Cyrus, is that you?
I'm gonna poke the person next to me, by the way.
Okay.
Okay, so Tristan, I got a 19 on the in check
Okay.
to understand.
Then yeah,
English.
you are getting a pretty good chunk of what he's talking about. There's some tougher words in there that you've not heard before, but you get the gist of everything he's saying.
Yeah. And Leah has immediately, because of what he recently done herself, have a theory. Can I roll on like an arcana or something to see if I can figure out if this is a dream spell or similar to a dream spell?
You can roll that. Cyrus, you know that Jebel, dressed as a strange wizard sitting next to you, has asked you if you are who you are. And Vendar, you have been poked by Yukikaze, who is dressed as a wizard. And yes, Yukikaze, you do feel him when you poke him.
Like, do I really feel him?
I mean, exactly how much do you want to feel him?
I'm gonna grab him on the shoulder and kind of squeeze a little.
Yeah. He seems completely solid, like he's really there. Like, you
Yeah, try to
feel it.
shrug
You
his
feel the
hand
pressure.
off.
you,
Do it.
you begin squeezing his shoulder, Vendar becomes uncomfortable.
I got a 21 on Arcana check.
Okay. You know that this is not the dream spell. However, it is possibly some form of magic. Likely some form of magic.
So, no, we're not gonna know that because we don't see the back of their heads. I would try to quietly respond to Jebel. Yes, it's me. It sounds like it's actually the others behind us too.
As you respond to him, the male of the two elves with long dark hair, dressed in robes not dissimilar to your own, is going to slightly turn in his seat and put a finger up to his lips and go, "Shh! Lecture's not over yet."
Does he look like the male elf that was previously one of our students that had a thing for Nalia?
Yes, he does.
Is
He
he
looks like
speaking
a
Elvish or
younger
Common?
version of that. He's speaking Elvish.
Raiken is going to use a divine sense.
Okay. Your divine sense returns no sense of undead, fiend, or celestial.
Okay.
Larry, you can continue talking.
Okay. Given precedent from other cultures, it seems reasonable that we can find examples of cautionary tales involving creatures of the Underdark, some completely fabricated and some related to experiences had many generations ago. There are, however, very few drow who make their way to the surface in a way that does not immediately provoke understandable fear and retaliation. And even fewer still have been in positions to share their culture's tales with anyone in a position to record them, who would have the knowledge to annotate them, with the likely many points that deviate purely into Lolth's cult. Among those actually useful records, there are a strange number of whispers about some kind of benefactor of the drow, outside Lolth's influence, although I'm unaware of any institution that has currently been able to actually back that up in modern times. I would liken these stories to our tales of ancient creatures meant to scare children, except perhaps in an odd type of reverse. I do hope that you have found this particular lecture on an as yet mostly unexplored area of study to be useful, if only as another intersection on faith and history from another point of reference. Next week we shall be returning to more relevant discussions, where we shall explore how particular artifacts were seen at differing points in history.
Professor, what exactly did you mean by another benefactor?
The stories aren't particularly forthcoming, as most drow tend to keep to themselves once they're on the surface if they aren't dead. At the moment, we don't really have any insight. Although if you have any way of knowing anything that could be verified, I think that we are out of time. However, I would
I have a hand raised.
like to speak with
What
you.
language was Cyrus speaking?
Did he respond to me in Elvish?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So then, yeah, this is all. Lara Mendes has continued speaking Elvish.
Unless otherwise
Jebel
indicated.
raised his hand too.
Yes.
I have
Which
no
one?
idea what anyone has been saying. He says in common.
There's just like a dead silence in the room, and the two elves in front of you just sort
I
of
just
slowly
stare.
turn.
Yeah, I turn and stare.
Lara Mendes' eyes just like widen considerably, and he says in common, "I'm terribly sorry."
Auditing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was. If I had been aware that you didn't speak Elvish, then I would have been switching into Common at the beginning of the lecture. Although I'm surprised to see somebody here. I don't know if you are. There wasn't a note in the class roster about anything in Common. Are you auditing the class?
Yeah, I have my hand raised as well, remember?
He's going to finish his discussion with Jebel first because he needs to know, and then so he like looks over at you and he says, like, one moment, and with are Nalia and Calendar leaving because
they both stand up and they stop in front of the table, and Nalia leans in and just says, "Professor, I've got conjuration class to get you, but I do have questions about this later."
Of course.
Ikaze, real quick speakers. I'd like to see you in Elvish. I'd like to see you later also, Professor, to speak more about this.
If Nalia is leaving.
So many people are interested specifically in Drow folklore. Usually this class has the largest number of people who just don't show up. Lormanus will begin approaching the cluster of you to speak.
Right, they're still up on their bench, looking down at you as you approach the first bench. If you'll give me just 1 second, Malachi. Jebel had asked a question about people who are leaving the room, because they are.
Yeah, well, no, when Nalia was leaving, Jebel would just be like, "Bye, Nalia."
As she strides to the door, you'll just see her kind of, like, stop, such that her body kind of flies forward with the momentum. She turns back. And she, like, scans the room for you. Do you make any indication that you said it visually?
Oh, she's waving.
Oh, you're waving. Okay. This all happens in the space of, like, 2 seconds. But she, like, finds you waving, she sees you, and then she just sort of gets this very, very polite smile, and you see, her hair go from red to brown, and she winks and leans her head to one side, and then, continues out of the room.
And I just sit there and go, "What does that mean?"
Don't
Professor,
mess with the timeline.
Okay.
Leah is like waving her hands at this point, like a very.
All right, Malachi, do you mind waiting one more
what-
thing so that I can help?
I had asked.
Go for
it.
You wanted to talk to them about Common, I think.
I had asked him if he was auditing the class.
Right, he had asked him if he was auditing the class.
It wasn't written down anywhere that I should be speaking in common.
Right.
So he will be looking to you for a response.
To us?
To Jebel.
Oh.
No.
He'll deflate a little bit at that and be like, I'm curious as to why you are here then if you are not part of the class or auditing it. But yes, child?
He is associate of ours, and I could speak Common and Elvish to convey things to him.
Yeah, I just find the Underdark fascinating.
I see.
It's so different from what I'm used to.
There is the small half-elven child still, like, struggling to keep her arm raised.
He turns to Leah and says, yes, child?
Yes, do you have a mirror on you?
He pats at his robes a bit and says, no, I mean, we could find one. I'm sure there's one somewhere. But why?
Are you sure?
I have a question for Tristan when there's a second.
Going I'm rolling as he is searching himself for this mirror that he's now not sure why he if he actually has it. I got a 12 on die for my searching myself. I assume I don't find a mirror.
No, you don't generally carry one.
No, I'm quite sure.
Curious.
So, question for Tristan.
Okay.
Was it just? I should have asked this when I came up, but did just Leah, was Leah the only one that could have heard Laraminus when he asked for the mirror and talked about him working on a new spell, Or was that...
I was in the middle of the room as everybody was climbing into bed.
Alright, so then I could have heard it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh.
anyone who wasn't asleep, he wasn't trying to hide anything, and he was trying to get a hold of her before everyone started falling asleep.
So, I have something that should pique your curiosity, Professor.
Oh?
That being the six of us here, should be under the influence of some unknown magic created by you. Possibly in the future. We went to sleep. Previously, you had requested a item from her, this one's name is Leah, that was a magical focus, a mirror of sorts, used for scrying.
Well, it was a mirror. But I suppose mirrors are mirrors of sorts.
Tristan, I assume there's like pen and paper next to me, considering we are at like a school setup.
You're not sure if it was there, but it is there now.
Okay.
There's a lot of
I would have been
notes.
Yeah, I would have been doing my best to note down everything that I find interesting. I will write you what I should note down, if it's possible to note on anything.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there is
The whole Inception writing theory thing.
there is a quill and paper on the work surface in front of you.
To Cyrus, Armendus will look very confused and say, you must not be in the divination track. That's not how scrying works.
I know it's not how
sorry
scrying
to
works. Like I said, it was some new spell that you seem to be working on. I don't know what it was or what it does, or what it was supposed to do. Heck, none of us here are even wizards.
This particular class is open to any who are studying at the university. Most of our students are studying the arcane arts, but there are a few, mostly who come for a few semesters that will study other things.
I'm a druid.
A what?
I don't know how to do magic.
I have no interest in being here.
Am I to understand, just for my own clarity, the only people who don't actually speak Elvish are Leah and Jebel, everyone else does?
So Raiken does not speak
Or,
Elvish.
sorry, yeah,
He
Jebel.
had switched to common when speaking, since he knows that Jebel can't speak Elvish.
Okay, so now everything's in
When
common.
addressing the group here, he has been speaking.
I wasn't sure if you were switching or not.
No.
Okay.
I hate to interject real quick, but all this is very intriguing, and I forgot what day it was. What is today? I need to write it down for my notes.
You may give him the date.
I say a date.
And with my knowledge system, is that past or present?
It is about 100 years in the past.
Oh. Okay. Writing down. I'm looking like I'm writing notes.
So none of us should even be alive right now.
I regret to inform you that you are. I don't know.
Harsh.
I'm like negative 80 years old. That is weird.
I would like for all of you to come with me for a bit. There's another professor that I think would be interested in speaking with you if you could.
Tristan, I'm gonna try something.
Okay.
Yeah, put down a quill and just look at the table and try to will like a tiny little like dragon statue on the desk.
Okay. Do you have a use for the dragon statue in mind, or is this something you are just trying to create by sheer force of will?
So she's just trying to create by sheer force of will. She's trying out things.
Okay. You may roll wisdom.
Ooh, yeesh. My rolls were good up until this point.
Nothing happens.
Let's see, 7. It's still 12 though, because no wait, no, sorry. Sorry, it might be. It's 7.
Nothing happens.
I looked at the wrong thing. I looked at the save, not the
Skill.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and summon my familiar kit onto the table in front of me.
Okay, apparently the person who only speaks common is now trying to cast a spell in front of you.
It's please don't. It's generally agreed upon at the university that we refrain from magic outside of the classrooms that are designed to withstand anything that might go wrong, and this is not one of them. As
I'm just trying to summon my familiar.
Do you have a reason for having your familiar with you at this time?
To see if I can.
That's not good enough. Please refrain from summoning your familiar.
I will inject at this point that as you have all been sitting around questioning Laramentis, you are aware that his robes are very strange. Like, yours are of light pastel hues and very plain, aside from, like, the leather collar flaps that are laid flat. His, however, is incredibly ornate in its design, with, like, stripes and ribbons on the shoulders. The overall color of the thing is a calming yellow, and you find that as you watch it, there appears to be every now and then just like a gleaming flash of this opalescence to it that almost looks like the edge of a shield spell. And as you are speaking to him and noticing this effect, you know, and noting it in the back of your mind, suddenly the robe itself seems to deepen in its yellow hue, and you see Laramentis' body like slightly tug toward the door.
Oh dear.
Are you late for a next class or something?
The pattern continues to deepen and begins to shift from its normal yellow to a deep crimson.
There appears to be a bit of a problem down. I point in the direction that I feel the pull, and I believe it might be quite serious.
You need to poop.
No. It's a warning, and the robes are designed to allow and require the professors to arrive where they are needed for their magical capabilities. Hold on, I need to type something interesting.
Well, real quick then, where can we meet you later?
Do you need any help right now?
Cyrus?
Yeah.
Do you have your hands on the desk?
I don't see why I would. I guess I might be resting my arms on it, so maybe, I don't know.
Okay. Tristan.
Yes.
Leah, after Leah has written and looked up for this happening, she just abruptly stabs Cyrus in the shoulder with a quill.
Okay, roll an attack with advantage.
Well, it's always Leah that stabs me.
What's your dex, Cyrus?
My dex is 16, so plus
Okay.
3.
What'd you get with advantage?
Let's see. What would I do? that this is a different thing from me considering.
It's either strength or dex.
Okay. In that case, dex. No proficiency bonus, I assume, because I'm
It's
not
an
proficient
improv
with
weapon. Yeah.
Yeah. That's only 12.
It's only 12.
Yeah, I got a 5 and a 9 on the die.
So you thrust this pen, and it seems to penetrate through his shirt, through this robe. But it doesn't really. It just like grazes one of his scales or something. Like you feel a hard stop, and you feel some pressure on your shoulder, Cyrus.
So Laramendus's face is going to blanch a bit. He says, "It would appear that a golem has gotten out. Seeing as you are all prepared for activities, would you mind coming with me? We can continue our discussion about the class on the way."
As he says, as it seems you are all prepared for activities and you find this phrase very confusing in your mind, you look about and you realize that a lot of you are no longer wearing what are presumably uniform robes for the students here, but you are wearing your armor and weapons as normal.
This place is weird.
I'm gonna get up and I'll
Yeah,
be
let's do
like,
it.
Professor, lead the way.
Excellent. I do feel that after everything is said and done, we should probably have a discussion about the rules at the university. But I think that you have a good case for things being waived, at least this once. And he begins, booking it out of the room.
Tristan, is Raiken's armor on, or is it just still in necklace form?
On.
Okay.
You are, fully strapped for combat, and this surprises you.
I don't think that surprises him at all.
Okay.
It's always ready for combat.
You choose not to be surprised by this. Goodness.
Nicely folds the papers he's been writing on and puts the quill away. And find a pocket and put it in it. Do visual robes have pockets?
You are wearing your normal armor now.
Oh. Okay, then I put it in the bag of holding, since I probably will be having that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Seems to be there.
I need to note that down later.
Squeaker's with you. No, and neither is Lorelei.
Lorelei.
There was one image I was supposed to find earlier. I told myself I needed to find. I looked around a little bit and I didn't find one I liked, and I set that aside to work on something else. And now I've realized I still didn't find it.
Am I able to psychically contact Lorelei? Like if I try?
You try, you do not get a response.
Is Armendus out of the room?
Laramendus had left when he had said, pretty much, we need to go. Please follow.
Yukikaze's behind him. So
Well,
you
before I leave the room. Just before I leave the room, I'm going to try and summon my familiar again.
This is very strange. At first I thought it was like dream, but it's clearly not. Everything seems so real, but it can't be. And also, I swear I did not have pen and paper before I needed it.
I'm just gonna go with it. Weird shit happens all the time.
You do also notice that we changed clothing all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's very dreamlike.
That could just be an effect of the Feywild.
Also, sorry, Cyrus, did you feel me stabbing you at all?
Yes, that hurt. Why?
Okay. Just want to make sure you know. dream and all.
Okay, so
Would Cyrus be aware that the university isn't in the Feywild? The university that Laramie
I'm not
lived on?
sure. Like, since you've only seen the one room, I don't. If you didn't put together that that's where you are, then he can make that statement.
That's fair.
I didn't. I was always under the impression that the university was in the Feywild, so I'll just keep rolling with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fair.
So you are all following Laramendus. Yes.
Well, I said that I tried to summon my familiar before we left the room.
Didn't work.
Okay.
So anything
as we
you
are
say that?
going. Oh, go ahead.
Or
Oh
rather,
yeah, Leah is just still trying to talk with Cyrus while walking.
No. You go.
So if you want to say something, Sam, just say it.
Laramandus will say, as I am not sure how aware you are of how golems function. They are frustratingly resistant to magics. Thus, the happy coincidence in you all, or most of you, seeming not particularly inclined. We would be able to handle it, of course. It just might cause a bit more chaos than.
Are they weak to anything?
It depends on the golem, I think. It's not my area of study. I avoid.
Do you know
those
what kind of golem it
rooms.
is?
No.
Hmm.
Wait, how do you know it's a golem?
Sending?
Ah.
That checks out.
so you are having this conversation as you run through these corridors, and as you leave the classroom and begin running down the hallway, you do see, first of all, a number of students who are now just sort of like tarrying in and outside of classrooms, looking worried. And what you find is that along one wall are a set of windows, and it appears that this building is curved, like a circular tower, perhaps. And out the window, you glimpse that, for one thing, you seem to be up high, because looking straight out the window, you mostly just see sky, clouds, and the tops of other buildings. You don't see, like, ground level. Those who are close enough and tall enough looking out the window can see that you are several stories above the ground, and below you is more of this white and blue and turquoise stonework that makes up these very intricate stone buildings with archways and columns, and it looks like you're in what appears to be in the middle of a city, or like the very ritzy aristocratic part of a city, like with the number and size of buildings around you. Beyond, you can see that there is water, as if the ocean, expanding away. And as you move down through the floors, still following Laramendus to where he's telling you need to go, you break out into the open air, and you find that it is a warm spring day. A cool breeze is blowing, and you can smell the sap of trees and the fresh grass and leaves around you, and you can hear people chattering, and, people, like, whispering and worried. Oh, another mage did something. Another alert. Okay, well, let's hope they take care of this one without much damage this time. Do you know who it was? The conversation's going by, and you can see that this place is beautifully terraced and curated. The grounds are pristine and clean. The stones are flat and squarely cut. There are areas of garden and waterfall, such as in the image, clearly visible as you move through the streets between these buildings, and in some areas you see courtyards where magical glyphs are lit up on the walls and on the ground around, either for light or perhaps for some special use.
As we pass by the guys to say, hope to fix it without much damage, Leah will mumble to herself, not if we get involved.
As you continue on following him, eventually you find that more and more people are running past you, looking scared or worried, and finally you do feel the rumble of the ground, and you hear the splintering of stone, and ahead you see part of a wall kind of crumble and cascade into the road, and you hear this squealing screech of some inhuman beast from that direction, and you see several mages back around, into view, coming from around that corner, and you see them pointing wands and staves and magic flying off the end around the corner to this unseen enemy. I just want to quickly get some drawing in here. Drawing. Why would you do that? This. We'll just go. It's so weird.
Mm-hmm. What is that monstrosity, Thomas?
Oh, it's from this. It's like it mocks like all the 90s drink ads.
Let's
All
see.
of them.
Well, the thing on the backpack or whatever, it looks like it could be a pog. Oh, okay, right, I see.
I'm gonna do my best to kind of explain this.
Wow, Hogwarts.
What?
He said Hogwarts.
Yeah, I get increasingly Hogwarts vibes, and it is, a maid or like a wizard's castle school.
Hear the screaming and the thudding and the breaking of stone, and you see these wizards backing up past this intersection that you are coming out of, casting their spells at the thing. And one of them turns and sees Laramendis and you following him, and he cries out in Elven and just says, "It's resistant to a lot, Professor!"
Stand back. We'll take care of this.
You brought weapons! Clear the area! They've brought weapons! You may roll initiative, and I will get some music going. Good initiative.
Oh yeah, I got a 7.
Me too.
Nice. Maybe. There we go.
Mine's +3.
Okay. I rolled another 4 on die.
I got a 20.
I got 6 on die, so.
Okay, so you go before me.
Not natural, Tristan.
I roll really shit for initiative lately.
I will ask for the rolls, so just make sure that you get them figured out and know who is where. And then once I have the music cued.
Oh, Raiken isn't going last. There's something wrong.
Well, it's still a very funnily low in its roll though.
It's still low enough to be a Raiken roll.
Yeah, I mean 9.
I mean, you rolled a 10 minus 1. So.
And I love that he used a short for initiative after it. Makes you look British. Raiken 9 in it.
No, you don't pronounce
In
the
it?
T. In it.
It's in it.
Yeah,
Nine
in it.
In it.
Yeah, you usually write it with 2 N's if you have to write it.
Not much, but I guess that'll do. Okay, let's see here. So, we need some initiative. I need to... This. Go to my pen. Initiative.
We did I had to pass that.
Alright, Vendar, what'd you get?
I'm sorry, I moved my room around last week.
Yeah.
And I can't find my dice.
Do you want me to roll you a d20?
No, you can use
yeah, sure. I'll just...
You can use the D&D Beyond dice.
You can use D&D Beyond dice, you can use the roller sidekick in the channel just by typing /R D20.
I forgot we had that.
I got a 20.
Natural or...
No, not natural.
Oh.
15 plus 5.
Okay.
Okay, well he beats me. I have +3.
Alright. Cyrus, what'd you get?
15.
Lair, what'd you get?
7. After Jim.
Yeah, I got 7 too.
Leah, what'd you get?
20.
Raiken, what'd you get?
9.
Yuki, what'd you get?
11.
Alright, a minute to just rearrange these.
Come to think, it's kind of weird, the whole thing where it's like the one that has the highest in it goes first on a draw, because that means that the one that rolled the lowest are the one that actually goes first.
Yeah. But that just indicates how it's not so much up to chance as it is skill.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it, but it's just something that I come to think about.
Okay, so Jebel was after Lair and Leah was after Vendar, right?
Jebel
No,
was
I'm before.
Oh.
You get it right.
That makes more sense now.
I hope nobody's cheating.
I don't even know how to cheat.
Alright. Initiative is up. So, here we are. You have just followed the street around this bend to this intersection. Huh?
I found my dice.
Hey! There is this street, which seems to be approximately straight, at least for this segment, continuing east to west. There is a courtyard up here with some kind of arcane circle on the ground there, and these light gray... So the dark gray is the buildings, the white gray is the road, and these lighter gray areas are like raised patios that are 10 feet up, if you want elevation. And first is Vendar.
What kind of golem does it look like?
What you see before you looks like clockwork. The parts of it appear to be made of metal, and you can see gears turning and churning as it makes its way towards you. It also looks badly damaged. Several plates are torn away or damaged, and you can see that some of the gears are missing teeth, and they continue to try to spin, but every now and then they grind.
I'm gonna try to shoot it with an arrow.
Okay. What kind of arrow is that?
Well, I had the fire string attached. Is it still the fire string on the bow?
Is that the one you want?
Can I choose any?
I mean, try thinking about it.
I try to make it a lightning string.
You make it, but suddenly you hold up the bow and go to bring your arrow to it, and you notice that it is the lightning string that's on it.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot it. And it hasn't had its turn initiative yet, right? So I get my assassin,
Correct.
which means I get sneak attack, right? Is that... Or actually, does that deal?
It means you have advantage, which means you get sneak attack.
Okay, I do have advantage. Okay. I use sharpshooter since I have advantage.
Okay.
Ooh, I got a crit. The other one was a 2.
So I'll be dead before the rest of us actually get to go.
I crit by Vendar hurts. It sounds like it hurts the DM spirit as well.
Oh no, I hit the wrong button.
Oh. I thought that was like, god damn it, my monster kind of sigh.
And this was poison or no poison?
No poison, because I figure it looks like a robot. I don't think poison is gonna work on that.
What bot?
A robot.
What are robots?
A robot?
A robot.
It doesn't look like a robot.
This robot must be drunk.
Robot. Hey, robot.
Okay, so, you crit, so you hit. Your arrow becomes a bolt of lightning as it leaves the bow, as the lightning bowstring transforms it into this bolt of arcane energy, and it sails across the courtyard, sparking and with a crackling noise as it goes, striking into one of the open armor plates on this thing's body, and you see it kind of like ricocheting around and then electrifying the whole creature from the inside. What is your damage?
Let me count. Fortunate number of ones. Still good
All
damage,
the
though.
ones.
$67 lightning damage.
It doesn't sound like it was that unfortunate a number.
Yeah, I got 5 ones, but I rolled 16 dice. So.
Not even a glitch.
Gosh.
Okay.
Now we just have to hope it's not immune to lightning or, regenerates from lightning.
Just supercharged it.
Alright, so, the lightning crackles over its body, and it seems to stop in place momentarily, taking one knee, and then pushing itself back up to continue its charge toward you. You can see more metal fragments falling out of it. Which brings us to... you need to move. I'm sorry.
Love it when I crit. It's such a good hit.
Leah.
Yes. Naturally, I will get line of sight of a target.
Okay. I mean, I moved him over there, but technically, what's here? I should put,
so there's a plateau there as well.
Right, so you could climb up on that if you wanted to.
Could, but it's 10 feet. I'd rather just walk forward.
Okay.
Shoot over from Laramendes' shoulder. So I'll step up right next to Laramendes there, yeah. And I equip my wand and I look at it and look at Laramendes and be like, I hope this works. And I'll just blast it.
Okay.
Oh, 26.
That'll hit.
Yeah. Is that right? No, 25. Yeah, whatever. Still hits, I assume.
Still hits.
I forgot to hex it first, so did not do that this time. That's let's see, where is Eldritch Blast there? Yeah, so 10.
10
No,
points of...
and there's also the +2, also the +2 from the 1, so 12 for them on hit. Force.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just my brain has to recalibrate because of the level up. Thing is now 1 higher, and I just had to remind myself that, oh yeah, and there's a reason it's not the same numbers as it were last time.
But it is
That's-
appearing correctly on the sheet, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just my brain is mush.
Are there more
Um,
blasts?
Yes, there are 2 more. But the blast arrived, yeah, it happened.
What?
Like, I was able to actually do this. Like, I shoot with the blast.
Yeah, you hit him.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
27 for the second one.
Yes, that hits.
Oh, that was min damage. So 8.
Okay, third one.
$23.
Yes.
Uh, 15 points of damage.
Points of damage, not poison damage.
Points of damage, yeah. Force damage. My dice work when they want to, or like when I need them to. Didn't do well when it came to the willing object thing, but when it comes to attacking, they rolled about 10, so that's good.
Cyrus.
Let's see here. I'm gonna move. Let's see. How many feet?
Height. Corner. Building. Friends.
Alright, I'll move one to the right of Vendar. And let's see. Yeah, we'll just go with a firebolt for starters to see if this thing is immune to fire. As it's completely made out of metal, that is entirely possible. So here goes. What is my to hit? I think it's +9 with the sword. Oh, so a 20 hit.
Yes.
Alrighty. Uh, 18 points of fire damage. That cannot be resisted.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Your fire strikes forth, and it seems to hit the armor plating right above one of the holes in it, and you see the metal like liquefy and start to flow down into the gears.
Alright. So flare seems to be working. That's good. And then, what is the range on haste? "30 feet. I will bonus action cast haste and put it on Yukikaze so he can get up close, hopefully. And that'll be my turn.
Okay. After Cyrus it is, Yukikaze. You have haste.
So I'm gonna draw my swords and move up there.
Okay. So 30 will get you here.
And haste does what for me again?
it doubles your speed and gives you an extra action that can be used for dash, disengage, and use an object, I believe. And I think also hide.
You know what? Screw it. I'll go all the way up there. I'll go right up to him. I'll be at attack.
Okay, so you're going to dash so that you can go 90? Or
Yep.
120, I guess.
Right in front of it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna look at my swords.
I think that you still have your attack action if haste doubles your movement to 60 and then you use the hasted action to dash. Then you have your action to attack. Don't you?
Oh. I don't get hasted often.
That does sound correct.
But, while we figure this out in concert, Yukikaze is going to look at his swords for Tristan. It's going to be, I want to imagine my swords like the size of great swords. Because, like, I feel like it's still a dream place, so I'm, like, hoping it makes my swords giant.
As you pull them out, they do come out somewhat larger than normal from the sheath, growing like Tessaiga.
So long and... Wait, it's a tiger, yeah. So they did get bigger?
Yeah.
You see a grin on Yukikaze's face. And then if it is the case I can swing, I'll swing. If not, I won't.
I mean, they still feel as light as ever.
Well, I mean, for the action thing, I didn't know if I could do an action or not.
You use the hasted action to dash, so you still have your regular action, which is 3 attacks. I think you still have your bonus action, so I think you could make a 4th attack.
Well, if that is okay by the DM, then I will.
I think that's okay.
Ruling.
What is the hasted action? It's just an action that can only be used for one specific set of things, right?
Yeah.
The hasted action can be used to make a single weapon attack, dash, disengage, hide, or use an object. So he dashed with it, which means he still has all of his other actions.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to confirm.
Other important notes, it also gives you a +2 bonus to AC and gives you advantage on dexterity saving throws.
But the dice betray me. First one is 20 to hit.
That'll hit.
Alright, so that is 9 magical slashing.
Okay. You do see a slash appear in the armor before you.
Okay, and then the second one is 16 to hit.
Miss.
Alright. This guy up for D6. Third is 14.
Miss.
And my bonus action slash is... Oh, it's still the same plus. So 21.
Hit.
And that will be 9 magical piercing. And that's it for Yukikaze.
Okay. Alright, after Yukikaze is Raiken.
Raiken will dash forward towards the creature.
No, the creature. I thought it said Leah. I was like, what?
Yeah.
You're going to dash. I'll get you to there. Is that acceptable?
Waiting for my screen to refresh to that. Yes, that's good. And none of Raiken's stuff looks different because he already thinks he's pretty badass.
Okay. Then after Raiken is Jebel.
10, 15. I'm going to move to just behind Leah.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Moonbeam and position it so that it is only on the golem. Moonbeam. 11d8. This will take a minute.
Moonbeam.
Christ, I'm minimizing so many of these.
Alright, so what does the golem have to do?
It's a Constitution saving throw, 19.
Constitution saving throw. It got a 21.
Oh yeah, well, I minimized like half of these.
What happens if it makes a save?
Oh, once I've added all this up, it takes half this.
Okay.
So, 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 12, 14, 28 points of, what is it, radiant damage? Radiant damage, 28 points of radiant damage, halved, so 14. That was a fucking 7th level spell slot. I got 1. I rolled 1s on 5 of those. It's like a lot of 1s and 2s. It's like a 7, a 5, like 5 1s, and then like 2s and a 4.
Alright, Laramendus, you're up.
Okay. Laramendus is going to cast Melf's Acid Arrow. Which is a spell I don't know if anyone here remembers him ever using. I think he cast it once while in the group.
What do you call it?
Melf's Acid Arrow?
Oh, I thought you said mouse.
No, not that.
I was like, what the fuck is mouse ass arrow?
That was a crit.
Ugh.
What does the golem have to do?
It's not a save, it's just damage. So it has to take some acid damage. it could take 13 points of acid damage.
13 points?
Yeah, and then at the end of its next turn, it'll take some more.
Okay. So is that your turn?
Am I in a... Yes, I'm in a safe enough position. Yeah, that is my turn.
Okay. That makes it its turn. And it's got... Alright. It is going to... It's going to reach its arm out to one side, and it's going to transform it into a large blade. And it's going to menace that above you, Yukikaze. And it's going to make a swing for you. That is a 22 to hit.
I'll hit.
Okay. Please take 23 points of non-magical slashing damage.
Does Yukikaze have the bonus to AC from haste?
That was not enough to do it, even with that.
Okay.
Okay.
It will swing a second time and whiff.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. For that first one, I'm gonna spend my reaction
Okay.
to parry.
Okay. So that means you get to roll your superiority die and reduce by that much damage.
Okay.
So you bring your oversized sword up and manage to deflect some of this blow, turning it into a more grazing blow. It still hurts a lot.
You said it was 20?
23.
23 minus 8 is 15.
Mm-hmm. And then it's going to go careening through the stone wall here, using its move action.
Wait, through?
Mm-hmm.
Broke it?
Mm-hmm. It is devilishly powerful. You can also see that this wall was already damaged by it, so he mostly just crumbled some more of it away. You can see around the edges scorch marks from fire spells. He's gonna move inside. And what happens with Acid Arrow then, Sam?
He takes 9 more points of acid damage.
9 more points of acid damage. Okay. And that makes it, I believe, Vendar's turn again. Vendar.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna dash so I can try to see him.
Okay, where are you gonna dash to?
I'll dash 60 feet forward.
Okay, 60 feet gets you here. You can see that there is a crumbling hole in the wall with fire magic scorch marks around it, but you cannot see the creature.
Shit.
There is clearly still some wall left between you and him.
That's unfortunate. Can I roll hide?
You may try to.
Where did that go?
A D20.
Yes. There it is. Well, I only rolled an 11, so 26.
Alright. You feel like you are using your surroundings to the best of your advantage, best of your ability. Leah, what do you do? The golem just sidestepped behind this raised area out of your line of sight. You heard the crunching of stone as it did so.
Okay.
You saw it take a mighty swing at Yukikaze, for which he had to bring up his own swords to try and parry some of it, and he still took a long gash across him.
So it might do the same thing that Jebel does when he's one of these golem things.
Could be.
Which is not gonna make this easy. I think I'm gonna double move until I'm behind Yukikaze, 4 blocks up. The blocks, squares.
Here?
Wait until let's catch this up. No, Yukikaze. That's Vendar, right?
It was Raiken. Here.
Oh. There, yes.
Okay.
That works in a double move, 55.
You moved. You do not see it. There is wall between you and it.
Then it does one, but with Jebel, or at least now I have an oversight from this angle. That's all I can do then. Because I used double move, so it's an action.
Okay. Cyrus. Same story. It went out of sight to the south.
Then I guess I'll try and dash up behind Raiken.
That uses up all of your... That uses up all of your move.
Alright, sounds good. I will dash to there and say, anybody see it?
Yeah, it went in there. Raiken will point to it.
Point to the hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's my turn, because I don't have line of sight and my concentration's being used.
Yukikaze, we're back to you.
Before I move, I'll speak up and say that, it looks like the melted metal from earlier is making the gears work better. And I'm gonna proceed after it.
Okay.
Oh, but that means no fire.
You do find it inside, stomping its way across the room here.
So, Yukikaze doesn't know if he was just delusional.
Okay.
He feels that he remembers or he's seen his swords get bigger. So he's going to imagine himself.
Mhm.
I'm going to sheath my one sword, double grip Hiryu, and believe with all my might that I can cleave this thing right in two.
Okay. Roll your attack. You're wielding your longsword two-handed.
Yes.
Okay, remember that upgrades the damage die to a d10.
Both those, because I'll do that first. See what happens. Alright. Oh, that's the wrong dice. I used my D, 13 or whatever that one is? For my D20 by mistake.
10.
Alright, 20 to hit.
The 20 will hit.
He didn't split in two?
Split it
You haven't
in
rolled
two.
damage yet.
It's going to be 10 magical slashing.
Okay. Roll me a wisdom check.
Wisdom check. I don't have any pluses in wisdom. This makes me sad. Come on, Lady Luck. Give me a good roll. A 10?
You focus your mind very hard on the idea of cleaving straight through this thing and finishing it in one blow, but that does not happen.
Aww. That's
your next attack.
Alright, well, my next two, unless I keep believing, I'm gonna keep believing that. I don't care.
Believe in you that believes in you.
Nat 20.
That's a crit.
And that will be 7 plus 5 is 12. 12 magical slashing. What's crit is times 2.
Roll another d10.
Oh, d10, that's right. Durr.
So it's 2 d10s plus your normal mods.
Alright, so it's 12. Plus... Oh, on both the normal mod?
Whatever the normal mods is, usually just one number, like plus 5 or plus 6 or plus 3.
Oh, yeah, so...
It's your strength plus your...
18 magical slashing.
18 magical slashing. Okay.
Do I have to roll wisdom again?
Go for it.
Oh, frick you, dice. 7.
I mean, you hit it real good, but it's still functioning, it seems. Though as you slam your sword against it, you do hear and see armor plating and gears within it breaking and falling to the ground as bits of metal. Last one.
19 to hit.
No, that'll miss.
Aw. Well, shoot. I guess that's it.
That's it.
It becomes Raiken's turn.
Ha should be able to reach it now. You'll head through the hole.
I can get you there.
Oh, dang it!
Which is right next to it.
Okay, good. It was a little late, so it looked like it was short. Okay.
It was, and I'm like, wait, hang on, I think you can cut this a little closer.
Alright. Time to give it the old Raiken swing.
The old Raiken swing.
Get my actions up. Alright. Ha! That's a 28.
That'll hit.
Alright. Where's my D8? There's 1, and there's 2. Ah, the balls. Alright. 7 non-magical silver slashing.
7 non-magical silver slashing.
And 3
7
radiant.
non-magical silver slashing and 3 radiant, you said.
Yes.
Your axe just seems to grind along its armor plating. I want you to roll an intelligence check. What could you use for this? I want you both to roll intelligence checks. I want Yukikaze to have advantage, though. You can
10.
use history.
Oh, we can use history?
You can use history, because that's also an
Okay.
intelligence check, so it's fair.
Then it's 14.
14, okay.
$20, 21.
21. Alright. Raiken, you know this more vaguely, but you feel that it is true. Yukikaze, you can state out loud to Raiken that because of your deep breadth of knowledge of weaponsmithing and metalworking, that it appears that this creature's armored skin is made of adamantine and could only be damaged by magic items or adamantine itself.
Alright. Raiken, this thing is Sisu made of adamantium. So only magic and adamantium will injure it. The plating, at least.
Is that so? Well, then Raiken will use a bonus action to cast magic weapon on his axe.
Okay. You channel divinity and magic your axe.
Okay. Well, then he will try to strike again. And he got a 23 to hit.
Alright, your axe crackles with the lightning and radiant light of your god. As you swing it in an arc before you, it connects with the beast, and you watch as the lightning channels over its body as the magic of the weapon begins to penetrate the armor. Roll damage. And don't forget your improved smite. Which I know you didn't last time, but I'm saying to do it again.
This time I got, let's see, 14 points of magical silvered slashing and 2 radiant.
Okay. Several sheets of armor plating come loose as your now magicked axe cleave through them, and within you can see the skeletal structure of this creature is nicked and damaged and burned in places, and there are gears with missing teeth trying to spin, some succeeding, others grinding and getting locked as it continues to struggle to move away.
Right.
After Raiken is Jebel.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, no, that's not right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Right, I can. Yeah. Let me just check that. If I move 25 feet to the right,
It'll be here.
what can I see? Like,
Nothing
if
useful. from here. Nothing useful. Because this gray, this like light gray area is a raised patio area that's 10 feet in the air. And the hole over here is like just this area of the building.
I guess I'll have to double move.
Alright, that gets you here. Which still doesn't let you see the creature. Any bonus action or anything?
Looking at the others that I can see, is anyone injured?
Nope.
I don't think
Zarmangus with nerves.
I don't think anybody that you can actually see is injured.
Okay, then no, that's what I'm gonna have to do.
Okay. Then after Jebel is Laramendus.
Okay. I am going to move 30 feet to the east, and then Misty Step to one north of the Moonbeam. Not one north of it, but the corner, the northwest corner of it. Got it?
Here.
Yeah. Can I see it?
Yes. It has cover from your allies and being inside the building, but other than that, yes.
Okay. Probably can't hit it with cover. I might be able to.
It's just half cover.
That is. Did I... Hold on. I need to determine if I have Spell Sniper. It's in alphabetical order. It's not the order that they got added in. I think he started with Spell Sniper, and he gained Keen Mind and Ritual. Okay, so I have Spell Sniper. Oh, right, that's how I know a cantrip that does damage. That is going to be 24, because I got a 17 on the die.
Okay, 24 will hit its AC.
Okay. That's a D10. That's not what I want. Is what I would like. That's not what I want. 9 points of cold damage, and it is slowed until the start of my next turn by 10.
9 points of cold damage.
And as Laramendus, runs by you and then poops past you, he's like, "We can't let it get to any of the students."
9 points, you say?
It had 10 health.
It had 5 health. Okay.
And now it has 14.
-4. It falls and becomes motionless. As it crumbles to the ground, several more parts break and fly out of it, scattering bits of metal and gears around. Congratulations. You have stopped the menace.
Was his name Dennis?
You don't know. You didn't ask him.
How rude.
I didn't even try to speak rock at him.
Those are all called Dwayne. Gotta remember that.
Alright, initiative is over. You martial people stand now in this shell of a room. You can see that there are several wooden work areas and bookshelves that have all suffered varying amounts of damage from what has transpired here, not limited to fire and acid burning, as well as the expected physical damage from rocks being beaten against them and the golem coming and stomping through here. You can see that in this room, there are a couple people who are just, like, pressed up against the back wall, trying to, like, get the door open without taking their eyes off of the golem.
I'm going to move over and look in the hole, and if I see that the golem is down, I'm going to drop Moonbeam.
Okay. You do so.
I'm gonna walk over to Cyrus. This is a very big school. Have you ever seen a school this big?
Nope. I was, taught by a tutor.
Yeah, I was taught in the orphanage. We had like rooms dedicated for classes, which were like these small rooms with very bad chairs in them. It's definitely not this.
As you talk, there are a pair of elven folk begin coming down the street from the east, leading what looks to be a human in a singed robe. And one of them calls out and says, "Professor Mendes, it seems that we've found the person responsible for this incident. Has the golem been stopped?"
As far as it's fallen down, and bits of it have fallen about, but I'm not entirely. It's not my area of expertise. I don't know if it's going to get back up again.
Now he sounds more like the Reliar Mendes we're used to.
They're going to lead this robed human into the hole in the wall and push him toward the golem and say, "Your job is to clean all of this up, and your punishment will be decided after that." They turn and simply look over the warriors standing about the courtyard, say, "The Marble City owes you a debt of gratitude." And they fold their hands in front of them and give a small bow. Professor Mendes will be expecting a lengthy report on everything that transpired by tomorrow.
Of course. You hear the student in there be like, "Oh, these pieces were so difficult to make. Why did you break these ones?"
Jebel's going to turn around and look at Lara Mendes and be like, "So, it's Laro Mendes?"
As you ask this question, you find that your vision becomes blurry, and the whole area around you begins to fade.
Ooh.
Whatever response is lost.
I'm gonna be kind of upset if you're doing Groundhog Day. I was saving that for my game.
You awaken back in the inn,
Okay.
the gulch. You have the benefits of a full rest.
Again.
Again.
Ah.
Lara Mendes is furiously writing things down and very intent on this book in his lap.
Yeah, I'm gonna go tap you on the shoulder. What did you do?
Yeah, I was the only one that dreamt that, right?
What do you mean? What did I do? I've been writing.
You made were messing with some sort of spell, correct?
I was working on a spell, yes.
What did it do?
What do you mean?
I don't
It's
know
not-
about the
I
rest of
haven't cast
these.
it. It's not done yet.
You dreamt you were in. Cyrus, you dreamt you were in the school, big school, and there was a giant golem, right?
Yeah, somewhere in his past. Gesturing towards
Yes.
Mirandus.
I had the same. Tristan,
Hmm.
I gotta look in the bag of holding and see if I find a note I wrote.
Okay, you look in the bag of holding. It is next to your bed with the rest of your gear. There is no note inside it.
I leave out a relieved sigh from that. Okay. That would have been scary.
Could you describe to me what everything looked like?
I do my best to describe it.
Big, pristine.
Called it the Marble City.
Yeah, I was supposed to say that.
I couldn't really see out the windows.
Have any of you been there before?
Nope.
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 Never even heard the name.
Fascinating.
You were in that. You were holding a class when we woke up, and
Specifically on Drow.
yes, and Nalia was there, and this other student.
I missed
We were-
most of it because I don't speak Elvish.
I could make out some. We were wearing these robes first, and then we shifted into our armor, which was weird. I noted all down, but the note is not here, obviously.
And then your
So-
robes pulled you out of the room because there was a golem rampaging.
Yeah, you were like tucked out. The robe, like you said that the robe was designed to pull mages to like dangers.
Yes, the robes that the professors at the university wear serve multiple functions. One of them is to denote what their area of expertise and study is, and the other is to allow them to quickly and hopefully safely reach locations if anything should need the attention of more senior wizards.
Yeah,
You
no,
saw
I-
that, a golem. There were
couldn't
certainly
tell-
times when there was a golem, I think. I don't know that I ever ran at one. That seems dangerous. I rolled a bad on my history.
It is, as you say, it was a magic college, and there were many experiments that went wrong and had varying destructive effects, including several golems. For the most part, you took your time in getting to these, and very frequently the problem was solved by the time you got there.
Yeah, that seems entirely reasonable.
Um,
Seems like something I would do.
the golem was apparently created and summoned by a human. He looked like a student, maybe. I tried to describe him as I saw him.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to like roll to see how well I remember him?
No, it was just a minute ago, so I'll allow it. It's a decent description of the human. Right
So-
down to his fur cloak, looking like a wolf's
Oh.
pelt.
Maybe it's a
Say
time.
the date too, because we heard the date.
You do have the date. You
I
kind of
got
say
a
yeah.
19 on my history. Does he
A
spark any
single
memories?
syllable seems to drift through your mind like a waking dream, and you just hear Vern.
Oh, yeah,
Ah,
he was a dumbass.
he was the cause of a few, at the very least, golem incidents. I'm not surprised that it was him.
But you
I
never
don't know
told
why
us.
you didn't stop studying that. It never worked.
You never told us any of this, so how could we know?
That's the point of the spell. I gained a bit of inspiration from an unlikely source. If you'll recall, a garland.
How can we forget?
I feel that the ability to see the past is quite useful for someone in my
Don't you have like perfect recall?
Do you have perfect recall of things that happened around me?
Oh, but don't you have perfect recall of things that happen around you?
I mean, I will live for a very long time. There are things that I will not remember.
So it's a way of viewing the past, kind of like scrying on time.
Yes. Which is
Well, we
why I
interacted with
borrowed
it.
the mirror to work
Tristan,
on scrying.
you say that things went hazy. Did that feel familiar? Like of Garland?
If you mean like passing through the doors, no. It felt like waking from a dream. Like the what you're seeing just sort of whites out and the voices just blend into a ringing and suddenly you're awake.
Right. Because as you described it, I was actually thinking of Garland, but I didn't question right then of two reasons. One, you were still talking, and two, I wasn't sure if I experienced something like it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a funny coincidence that I actually thought of Garland.
I mean, that's good. That's what. I mean, that's what the intent was. Nothing should have happened, though.
Perhaps
somehow affected
be
us.
careful working on this spell of yours, at least until we're in safer territory.
I will endeavor to be a bit more cautious about it and see if I can keep things more theoretical.
You don't sleep, so you saw nothing of this.
I am surprised that it affected dreams, although I suppose if anything were to be done in its unfinished state, that seems interesting. I'll have to discuss with Nalia. But the end goal is that it won't be in dreams. It would be most unfortunate if I couldn't experience the end results of this spell. Although, if that's the only way it could be, then it might be interesting to spend more effort looking in that, and that will be a last resort.
Jebel's going to look over to Jolt. Is he still asleep?
He does seem to be still asleep. He was like, kind of like, grunting and growling, and at this point he's just, you folk are so noisy. Gelt was having such a lovely dream.
See
What
him in there.
about?
What did y'all dream of? I was in a white tower having tea with an exceedingly old man. I think he was an elf. They get pretty old, right?
They do. Could you describe him for me?
Well, I couldn't have guessed at his age, but he was certainly more, prune-like than Chelt had ever seen an elf look. He was alone in a room. He had long white hair, and he was playing chess against himself. He interrupted his game to see to me. I've never dreamt of him before. Perhaps it was a past life, an old friend, or someone I'm yet to meet. Chelt never wagers on such things. Anything could happen in the future.
If I would be impressed if you were to meet him. He doesn't leave the university, to my
What's that
knowledge.
you say? You know this man that Chelt dreamt of?
He was an old professor of mine.
Why was your professor in my dream?
I'm not entirely sure. That doesn't make sense with everything else.
He's like sitting on his bed. He just narrows his eyes at you.
More importantly, why was he in a different place than us? Why wouldn't he just be in the classroom like we were?
You are asking the correct questions, and I look forward to figuring out the answers.
Stay out of my dreams, elf.
I was not in your dreams.
Chelt does not want your magic in his dreams.
We need to try and be quiet, because if this affected more than the people in this room, we could have stirred up trouble. So it's best that we keep quiet and keep our heads down.
Lola, you don't dream. Like you don't sleep, do you?
Hmm? I am a warrior. I sleep when I need to sleep. Normally, I watch you. That is my job.
I watch you while you sleep.
So you didn't sleep and have any weird dreams like that?
I did not experience what you described. You
Curious.
seemed to be actively dreaming.
Okay, that is a little bit creepy, but I understand.
I made a promise to Zin, and I intend to keep it. I don't care if that offends your sensibilities.
Nice reference there, Thomas. But yeah, no, it's fine, I guess. It's not. Well, it's not the first time someone watched me as I sleep, though. The first of less malicious.
Malicious?
I can't say malicious intent.
She just sort of holds your gaze for a moment and says, "My intent is to protect you on behalf of Zentharamil." I do not know these malicious others who watched you, but I will not stand for them.
Guys with the blue hands, they watched over me most of the nights. Anyway,
She just places her tiny hand against your cheek and feel the warmth of her body. That's a very long way of saying it was a success, Scholar.
I need to make sure that everything is properly documented from their experiences before they begin to forget.
Oh, no, the documentation is fine. Admirable, even. That sentence there is just a very long way of saying it was a success.
I think I've earned that.
Very well, Scholar.
Jebba's going to just sit cross-legged on his bed, starting to meditate.
You said that you had interrupted me during a class. Did you all understand me? And everything else that was being spoken?
Some of us did, those of us that speak Elvish.
I understood most, I think.
I understood everything.
Unfortunate.
I only know one word in Elvish. You did not say it.
Maybe if I'm unsurprised that I did not use that phrase in a lecture. Maybe if I. Oh, but now I need to find.
You taught me well. I tried to remember the lessons.
I'm glad that you understood some of it.
Beautiful hair.
The lectures at the university tend to be loquacious and quite sesquipedalian.
Okay, I understood nothing of that.
I don't know how much you elaborated, or we elaborated, that everything was pretty interactive in there. Like, when Jebel talked common, you started speaking in common.
Yeah, we weren't passive observers.
Yeah, we like talked to you, interacted with you, and we were the ones who killed the golem.
Fascinating. It works.
We were just as surprised about Jebel being a druid this time.
Larmandus, what are your objectives with the magic, if you don't mind me asking?
I mean, just think of everything that we could learn if we could be in a different time.
You saying, like,
different place.
try a different outcome?
No, I mean, I suppose that somebody might be able to see how they think things might have turned out. That seems a fairly self-destructive use of the spell. Oh dear. But no. You can ask questions to somebody that's gone and in a completely different time, in a completely different place. You can see what actually happened in anywhere.
Well, for you, maybe, because you have such a intact memory. If someone is not able to retain their thoughts as well as you, it might come out very differently.
I see.
Would it work on second memories of infants or like newborn?
My intent and my eventual goal is not to have it tied to a living person. The more important thing is the place. I suppose it makes sense that it was keyed on me as I'm doing this experimentation, but the final form should hopefully not require the input of the person we want to see the memories of. Although the point of the scrying is to make it so that we might be able to see a place different from where the spell is being cast. I'm not entirely sure, and that seemed to have worked, at least for the memories. But
could you decide, like, could you choose these places as you cast a spell, or do like for example, could you set it to Watchtower Point about 14 years ago?
Now I don't believe so. I'm honestly surprised that anything happened. It shouldn't have. But eventually, if everything works the way I want, then yes. But that's still a good amount of research in the future.
That's also a very dangerous spell, by the way, Larmandus.
How so?
If you think about it as being a nomadic tribe and everything, and we have our way of life in our own secrets and things we don't wish to share. If someone used that to interrogate someone within their mind without any repercussion in the real world.
Well,
I support it.
there's also the question of, we were in a life-threatening situation. What happens if we die in there?
We don't know if anything will happen.
I could gooify you and we could find out.
I'd rather not meet the Raven Queen before my appointed time again, if I can help
but
it.
we all know it's going to be you.
These are all extremely interesting concerns. Thank you.
Didn't we die in a similar illusion in Garland and just come back?
Not quite like this, but also it's the spell itself is taking inspiration from the experiences there, and hopefully will be safer. But figuring out how to build in those safeguards is a good idea.
Well, I hope you can perfect it. And if you can, could you? I mean, could you? Yeah. Let me see something.
It might require us to travel to the location.
Oh. But we weren't in like we're not in the school
City.
now.
Yeah.
And at this point, I didn't have the kind of control that the spell will end up with. Things are wilder and more amorphous at this stage in a spell's research, and therefore more dangerous.
I see.
When things become more stable, it is likely that the requirements will shift. Although, given enough time, I would like to be able to see things that are far. I don't know how much more work that would require.
Jebel's head snaps up and his eyes open, and he goes, "Oh, there was one thing, a question that was raised. Is
Yeah.
your name Laro Mendes?" And he holds up two hands apart to emphasize his two separate words.
The O is an initial.
So your actual full first name is just Lair?
That is what Melia calls me, yes. I mean,
I thought that was just like a shortening.
Wait, so that means your last name is Mandus?
yes.
What's the O stand for?
Wait, are you so old you forgot?
Are you like?
Lar will say something.
Is it O?
That Sam is
Really?
not aware of. The whole like actually it being the last name was not discussed beforehand as more than a joke, but I'm totally willing. I'm happy to roll with it. He says a name. It's very long, like extremely long.
Name of the King of Fairies.
I thought it was like of Lar of Mendes.
Oberon.
No, Oberon's way too short.
No, I was just
Right.
trying to remember the name of the King of the Fairies.
Oh yeah. But like I know that song, by the way. I can play that song on a tin flute. There were like there were like some countries that named things like that, like first name of the place they came from. Italy, I think.
Yeah, Da Vinci.
And da Firenze, in Ezio da Firenze.
People from Iceland, when there's a family that when the guy moved to Canada, he, instead of having like the name of like his father, he took the name of the town he moved to, and that became the family name.
Yeah, that's what we did in Norway as well. After we stopped using the parents' name, we like chose the last name to be the name like that was given to the farm normally that they lived in. The farm or farmstead, or yeah. Like my mom's maiden name is like that. It comes from her
The Irish names
great-grandfather.
are still Irish names still are based on that kind of thing, because the Irish for Moran is O'Moran, which basically means son of Moran.
Alright.
Or Mac something means son of whatever, so it's son of whoever became the family name.
Alright,
So
let's
now
get
I'll-
back in character.
Well, you know, this spell could make me, see my mother and what happened to her.
That sounds like it could be a very good thing. You've never seen her.
I don't know where I come from, like where she came from. Don't know anything about her besides her name.
And perhaps this will be good that you know this man and his strange spells.
If he succeeds,
We should help him.
how?
Whatever he needs.
I don't have much knowledge of spells. I just get my spells from Sintaramel, and he tells me how they work.
Gave him the mirror to work with, and that helped him. Simple
That's true.
gestures.
It also put us in danger.
Did it? You were only asleep.
Yeah, but we don't know. We don't know what would happen if we were to die. Would we wake up? Or
I don't know. Maybe.
sorry, the laugh was because of Discord.
Squeakers is wrapped up in the folded brim of your tricorn.
Oh.
Excuse me, you mean Lord Squeakers the second?
Lord Squeakers II. I don't know. Seems a boon to me.
Larmandas,
Mhm.
what would you need to complete the spell? Like, could I do anything to assist?
I'm sure we can figure something out. At the moment, I'm not positive, but you do have a unique insight on how certain spells are cast that might prove interesting for coming at things from a slightly different angle, which is useful when it comes to novel spells.
Really? My insight?
The way I think about magic is fairly rigid at this point, given my many years of study. So your thoughts and the way you do it could provide a fresh opinion. And as we just saw, there were implications of things that had not crossed my mind, which I'm sure there will be other things that come up, and we'll need to figure out how to address them. So having somebody else to work on this with would be quite nice.
Okay, just let me know. I think this could be useful if used right and for good purposes.
I should certainly hope so.
Acquisition of knowledge is only a positive in the eyes of Ione.
Oh, well, on the topic of magic, I also tested a spell yesterday while you guys were asleep, like before I fell asleep.
Oh?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that Tristan was supposed to.
Yeah, he said Laramentis does not seem surprised when he says this. He seems to be prompting you and expecting a response.
Oh. Yeah. I tried using Dream to contact a friend of mine up north.
The same one that you had scryed upon?
Yes, I believe I did scry on him once.
Sam thinks that it was a dwarf that you had scryed on.
Yes,
back then, so that's what Laramentis will say.
Yeah, Baranor was a dwarf, like Mistral and salesman that I traveled with from across Evangard before I met you. Because, like, the party that existed back then, at least.
Was he well?
Yeah. He seemed very surprised at first. Obviously, he's not known of this type of magic, and a lot happened. I showed him where I was, and I showed him the threat of this world. I figured that he's well versed, and he's up north, where we cannot reach at the moment. I figured if he can manage to alert the forces of Ebengard, maybe they can protect themselves in case a dragon comes up there and not be caught by surprise. I figured it's nice to have allies, you know.
Doing everything we can to make sure that they are informed seems useful. That was quite clever.
Thanks, I was worried you wouldn't approve.
Laramentis seems a bit confused. Why wouldn't I?
I thought we agreed to be a little more careful, secretive.
Secrets serve no one but Vecna.
I have certainly not been particularly tight-lipped about the dangers that are coming when it comes to people that I have known in the past.
I'm thinking more of like the plural you, like all of us.
I don't believe that we have been particularly tight-lipped.
Well, okay, good.
Especially when it comes to warning people such that they can be properly prepared.
Yeah,
That's
good.
exactly what Ione herself professes. That knowledge can be used to prepare oneself and protect oneself from any given situation.
Yeah, you see, I was worried that if Ebengard have their forces out in Aspara, they might not have as many defenses right now.
So you gave them knowledge that they could use to protect themselves. That is admirable.
Considering Baranor managed to bring them the news, I'm sure he'll find a way. He's very clever.
Indeed.
But it was the first time using the spell, though, so it was kind of fun in a way, in a strange way. And that's why like when I woke up during this stream, like the spell you practiced, Laramendes, I immediately tried to see if I could alter it or affect it in a way I could with a dream spell to see if it was similar.
And could you?
Sort of like pen and paper I write when I needed it, but I couldn't will a dragon statue.
What about a dragon paperweight?
I didn't try.
Hmm. He begins making more notes.
Alright. That brings us to just about 10:30. So, any final thoughts from Yukikaze or Raiken or Vendar on what transpired?
Raiken is very happy and refreshed because he had an amazing dream about taking down a golem.
In a dream where he got to fight shit,
Yep.
and fought shit, and won. And then he woke up and was just like, damn, good dream.
Good dream.
Good dream. How about Yukikaze? Any closing thoughts?
No.
Okay. How about Vendar?
No closing thoughts.
Alright then. Well then, thank you for joining us for this exciting episode of Everybody Loves Raiken. And we will be back same time, same place next week, assuming everyone's around. Alright. Have a good night.
Noop, noop.